Questions?
All right, guys. Head coach Jeff Tedford, Julie, you want to start us off?
Yeah, Coach, just what are your overall thoughts of tonight's performance from you guys?
Well, not very good. Obviously played a great football team. They executed really well. And we got behind early, and hard to come back, against a team like that that's so well coached and executes so well.
Did anything about that offense surprise you at all since you've worked with Peterson? Is there anything out of the hat that...
No, there's really nothing different. They just do a great job of executing, and they have a great quarterback who is very efficient and finds matchups and works the field very, very well, and they have really good guys around him. They protected him well, and when he gets protection like that, he pretty much can tear up any defense. So, but they ran the ball. We let Contain go on the first long run for a touchdown. It didn't contain that play. Got a couple penalties tonight that hurt us pretty bad. Stopped them down inside there, and had a horse collar penalty that kept the drive alive. So, but no, nothing really, out of the ordinary for what they do.
6 penalties this game, and you had 4 with the last 2 games combined. Was it discipline, or what was it? Were they too excited out there? What do you think that was?
No, I think they're trying to play hard. We had a horse collar, and then we had a targeting, which shouldn't happen. Our strike point is between the shoulders and the waist, and we got too high on that, so that shouldn't happen. They're really good. We got a couple holding calls, but they're really good on the edge. So, we definitely, we've been really good in that department, and we weren't as good tonight with that.
Dante Pettis a little bit. How tough is he to handle as a receiver and in the return?
He's an awesome player. He really is. We punted the ball into the boundary and tried to pin him in. He still got out of there. He is so slippery and has great balance and great speed, and everything he does as a receiver as well. We should have had the long one covered. We had guys back there and just lost sight of the ball, and he made a play on it and we didn't. But he's an excellent player, no doubt.
Is there a way to not punt to him, or do you just? That's just like the nature of punts.
Well, you can punt it out of bounds. What happens sometimes when you try to punt the ball out of bounds, it ends up in the stands for a 20-yard net. So you try to pin them in as much as you can. And I didn't think that was a bad punt. We had them over on the numbers, and so they did a nice job of blocking it, and we didn't defeat the one-on-one blocks, and they did a nice job. And typically that's what happens with them is it's Dante gets a lot of the credit, but it's all the people around him that really execute very well.
The things that went right on the first 2 punts that you guys did, was it everything that you said there that you just?
Yeah, we won those battles, but as much as we had to punt, you keep giving them chances. It's you're always kind of rolling the dice because they are very good at what they do. There's a reason why whatever he did tied a record today or NCAA record. They've done it, consistently over time, and they do a great job on special teams.
What was the thought with going to McMarion earlier than you had been?
Well, I felt like we missed a few throws early, and wanted to give him a chance to get him in the game, get him some more game time, and get him some game experience. And as he progresses through the playbook and game planning and things like that, felt like he had a handle on what we were doing, and wanted to see what he could do.
Do you pick one guy to take you through conference, or do you just keep?
We'll talk about that this week. That's something, we'll evaluate things and go through a week of practice here in the bye week and make a decision on that later.
Could the bye week come at a better time for you guys after Alabama and then Washington?
Well, it's a good time. Yeah, we're battle tested for sure. We played 2 of the best teams in the country back to back on the road in hostile environments, and so it's a good time for us to get healthy. And we have some, after 2 physical games like that, you got a lot of bumps and bruises. We found out a lot about ourselves, but we need to get better. We need to take care of the details and all the little things that we need to continue to work on. but we're heading into conference play, and so it's a good time to have a bye right now, so we can get a little bit healthy after these 2 games.
You probably know better than anyone in the country now, Alabama, Washington. Just how do you compare those teams?
Well, they're both great teams. You know, they're both in the Final Four last year. They're very physical. Both teams are very well coached. They're very fast. You know, it's just really hard to sustain anything on them because they're physical up front and they can really run. And you know, so there's a reason why those 2 teams were in the Final Four. You know, they're great teams, and they play well all the way around. It's not just offensively or defensively, and you know, special teams, all 3 phases of the game, they do an excellent job.
Early on, how do you feel like you guys competed in that first half?
Well, I don't think it wasn't that they weren't competing. You know, they were given effort. It was they beat us on a few things. You know, when you give up the perimeter, when you jump up inside and you have contained, they're going to run around you. You know, so there are little details that we need to be more disciplined with. But it wasn't an effort thing. You know, I haven't seen in our 3 weeks that there's an effort issue anywhere, and guys not willing to compete. You know, Pettis beat us on a fade route with a great move, and Jake put it up, you know, perfect to him, and you know, so I don't think it's a competition issue as much as some details that we have to make sure that we're more disciplined with.
And you know, and obviously it's early, but having been with Washington last year, having faced them now, and you've probably seen them all week on film. How would you compare that team last year to the one that you just played?
It looked the same to me, really. You know, I know they lost some secondary guys, but having Azim back and Bieria in there, and you know, the front 4 that they have, you know, especially with the 2 guys inside, and their secondary plays very well, and they do a great job of mixing things up defensively. You know, and they have a really nice pressure package, and so. Kukowski does it, and the rest of their defensive staff do a phenomenal job of putting those guys in a position to make plays, and they play very fast.
The short fields in the third quarter is detail thing also.
What do you mean?
Settling for field goals, getting the ball to the 26 and the
Yeah. I mean, some of those things, you got to give them some credit for what they're doing too. You know, they put on a pretty fierce pass rush, and you know, we didn't have a lot of separation in the pass game, and you know, so didn't execute some of those things, and you know, so but got down there, at that point wanted to see Jimmy kick some field goals and get some experience down there to see what he could do, because he missed the first one, so wanted to get him some confidence back, and he did a nice job.
All right, let's let Coach go at this time.